Hey everyone, my name is Esti and we are here for a review today. So I decided to talk a bit about the Lazarus Contract, which was a crossover event in May. And yes, I know that I'm late for the party yet again, but that's just the fact if you are not living in the US. So yeah, Lazarus Contract was a crossover event and it included Teen Titans, Deathstroke and the Teen Titans Special. I'm just going to show you the covers. And also I will insert a picture because if you put the four covers together, they are giving out a really nice, really big picture. So here we go. It was Titans 11, Teen Titans number 8, Deathstroke number 19, and the Teen Titans Special, as I said. I'm pretty much sure that the Lazarus Contract became an instant hit and an instant classic as soon as it got released, or maybe even announced. And there is a reason for that. First of all, it got the title, but it is with DC and biblical names. So I'm pretty much sure that you all know the Judas Contract, which is one of the most famous arcs events in the Titans history ever. It's not my favorite, and if you are following me on Twitter, you probably know that I don't like it at all. For many reasons. First of all, I don't like Terra, I don't like Deathstroke, and I didn't like that whole thing altogether. But I get why people love it a lot and why it got really famous. And I was a bit afraid of Lazarus Contract because it is yet again a biblical title and it just seemed so similar to Judas Contract that yeah, I was afraid. So Lazarus is a man who was brought back to life by Jesus, and the title gave away a lot of things about this event, I think. But you need a bit more than just a cool title for an event if you want it to be a hit. And yeah, Lazarus Contract got all that too, because yeah, let's face it, two generations of Teen Titans, or Titans if you may. Deathstroke, a dead Deathstroke kid. The other two are alive and they are also in the story. And if you're a big time Titans fan like I am, I'm pretty much sure that you loved seeing Jericho in the pages of this event. And probably Rose as well. I really love Rose. I really love her history with the Titans and I hope that she will be back soon. And yeah, Jericho as well. It would be so nice to have him in the Titans run, to be honest. And you have not one, but two flashes. I'm really sad, kind of, that Bart is not involved in this, that Bart is not involved in the Rebirth titles at all. But we have two Wallies, so what can I say? We've got all that for a successful story. But what is this story really about? Let's see. In the first two parts, what happens is basically Deathstroke getting both of the Flashes, stealing one of their speeds, it's the younger Wally, and it turns out that Nightwing back in the days made a contract with Deathstroke, and that contract involved Rose, Deathstroke's daughter. Now, if you follow me guys on any kind of social media or just paying attention what I'm saying when I'm talking about Nightwing, you know that I'm always keen on saying how Dick is not Bruce. But in some terms, they are really similar. So first, they are stubborn, and second, they are really keen on making decisions, and then they are forget to talk about those decisions to anyone, even though it influences their lives. And let's just put aside that I think that Bruce is doing it because he is thinking that he's smarter than everyone. And probably he is, but yeah. And Dick is mostly doing it to save other people. Still, it's not good. But yeah, so Dick did a contract with Deathstroke. And it was mainly about saving Rose. And by saving Rose, I mean that not letting her do and take the bad path and just like being like his dad. Deathstroke wanted Rose to have a normal life or a good life. And it says that the contract can be brought back to life at any point if one of them is not keeping it. And of course it was not just about saving Rose, it was also about saving the Titans from Deathstroke. As far as I know, and I'm not reading Deathstroke comics, but I tried to dig in a little bit, it has mentions of Rose getting trained by Nightwing in the past, but she is still not on the good path and she ended up in a hospital. And just like in general, Deathstroke's family life is a huge disaster. In this event precisely, he wants to bring back his son, Grant, who is also known as the Ravager. Ravager? I'm not sure how to pronounce that actually. But anyway, if you remember, if you read all Titans issues, you know that he wanted to bring back Jericho as well when he was dead. And yeah, as I said, family life is a disaster. But yeah, this time he wants to bring back Grant, who was the victim of Hive in a way, because Hive shot him with some kind of juice and it led to a heart failure, and Deathstroke is actually blaming the Titans for it, even though the Titans wanted to save Grant, although he was attacking them. But we all know superheroes, and Deathstroke is blaming the Titans for losing his son. And also, he found a way to steal the Speedster's speed and go back in time. So what does he do? Of course, he goes back in time and tries to save his son. In the third issue, we have flashbacks. First, Wooly, the older one, is chasing Deathstroke through the space-time and trying to stop him. In this comic book, I kinda didn't like it, but I also kinda get it if you look back at the Flash's history with Deathstroke. So in this book, it says that even though Wooly is really fast, and now they almost have the same speed with Deathstroke, but he still is just fast, while Deathstroke is one of the deadliest assassins that the world has ever known. In the end, Wooly runs and like escapes from him because he thinks that he doesn't have the strength and the skills to fight him and win. As Deathstroke goes back in time, we see flashes of his life with his kids and his relationship with Grant and the other kids as well. It was pretty interesting, although the storytelling of this book was kind of alien for me. It's like short stories, black panels with different titles in every 2, 3, 4 pages. It was weird for me, but it's not bad. And also I liked how we got a proper backstory for Deathstroke as well. And on the last pages, he finally meets his son, the Ravager, and he tries to save him. In the last part, which page-wise was an oversized issue, we see how Deathstroke tries to save his son over and over again, and he fails over and over again. So yeah, it was, I think, a bit confusing, as it always is with time traveling. And I really think that we should just drop the whole time traveling, time alternating things, because it gets really confusing, especially if you're not a native English. But as I read online, even native speakers had their plates full with like following the event. It wasn't bad, and I definitely liked the art style. I definitely liked Jericho. I definitely like how they combine Jericho's, Raven's, and Flash's powers to get Deathstroke out of the time space, and how they managed to bring him back, and yeah, Grant wasn't saved in the end. Now about managing to stop Deathstroke. And here comes the nasty part. Overall, I like this event. It was a good event. What I really didn't like about it was Damian. And that's a huge thing to say for me, because I love Damian. I endlessly love Damian. I love Damian since the first time I've seen him. And in this one, he was so annoying. I just can't. Because when Percy is writing him in Teen Titans, he's a brat, but he is not a bad person. And in this one, he was just like kind of plain evil. He was really irritating, annoying, and I didn't like it. And now comes the spoiler alert. So the way they get Deathstroke out of the space time, whatever, is that Damian stops Wally's, the older Wally's heart, so Deathstroke gets cut out and away from the Speed Force. And yeah, that's a genius idea if you think about it. They managed to get Deathstroke out and everything, but it has consequences. And here comes the many consequences of the Lazarus Contract. First of all, and that was the least surprising for me, is that actually Deathstroke announces that he quits being evil and villain and stuff like that. He just like takes off his mask and leaves. I've read quite a lot about Deathstroke's last announcement in the Lazarus Contract, and many people are waiting for him to actually do something for his family, like a genuine act of love or caring or whatever you would want to call it. And yeah, but I'm sorry guys, but I really don't care about Deathstroke that much because I've never liked him as a character. If any death, it's Deathshot for me. I get why he is popular, I get why he is iconic, I get why people love him, but he's just not a character for me. Anyways, he leaves. He fails saving his son. He kinda has to face that he's a terrible father. He just leaves. Like, it's easy like that. He is basically defeated on more than one level. The second thing that is caused by the Lazarus Contract or the events that happen there is the younger Wally West, the Black Wally West, being fired from the Teen Titans. Damian basically fires Wally West. And I'm just like, what the heck? Like, seriously. I loved how Damian's character was built in Teen Titans, how he won over the other characters in that story, and now the Lazarus Contract is just kind of making that into nothing. And even though I sincerely and genuinely loved this whole event, it was so interesting. I really liked that Jericho was brought back, and I really liked the teamwork, and I really liked the many shades of Nightwing. I really liked all the other characters. I really liked how Wally was in this, both of the Wallys were in this event. I liked Roy, I liked Gar, I liked basically everything. I liked how they made fun of Aqualad, who is technically still not Aqualad, but we all know that he will be Aqualad. I liked all of those things, and then it was just brought down by the fact that Damian was, in my opinion, mischaracterized. Yeah, whatever. And the third one, and that's actually an interesting outcome from the whole Lazarus Contract arc, is the fact that Wally's heart, the older Wally's heart, got weakened when Damian had stopped it, and now he has to live with a pacemaker, which means that it's really difficult for him to remain the Flash because he is not able to use his speed powers because it can lead to a heart failure eventually. I've also seen that many people were really upset about this outcome because they think that DC will again take away Wally West from us, which would be a huge mistake considering how much the fans love him and how much they loved him being back with the Titans and in the DC universe. So all of you guys who think that this will lead to an unfortunate outcome for Wally West, I think you should rethink it because I just don't see that happening. Like, Wally is loved so much that I think that this will just lead to another interesting story arc with the Titan. I can understand why is it upsetting. My first thought was like, you just can't do that. You just can't do that when we got back Wally like literally a year ago. You just can't do that to him. And I really hope that they won't. Let me be the voice of hope here, and yeah, let's just hope that he will be alright. We need the drama. Titans is about that drama. It was always about drama. So what is my overall opinion on the Lazarus Contract? For one, I think that it has all the potential to become a legend, just like Judas Contract become a legend. I really enjoyed it. I like the art styles. I really love that I was introduced to the unusual writing style of the Deathstroke writers. I really liked how it was built because it was interesting all along the way. It had a really nice story flow, if you know what I mean. And yeah, overall I liked it. However, I can't say that I loved it endlessly, and it's because of Damien's character, and it's also because I kind of felt the same about Dick. Not as much because he wasn't a huge douchebag, but compared to his attitude in the Titans comics and in the Nightwing comics, I kind of felt a bit weird about him. Not as much as about Damien, but still. But all the other characters were genuinely interesting. I definitely love Lazarus Contract more than Judas Contract, to say the least, so yeah. Can I and will I recommend it for you guys? Absolutely, because if you're interested and involved in Titans history, this is a must read for you. And even if you're not, I think this is a great opportunity to jump in, as new story arcs will start in all 3 of these series. And maybe it's not your book if you love Damien, because I can assure you that you won't love him in these, or if you don't know him, because then I can assure you that you will hate him and hate his guts. But if you're interested in other characters like Raven, Beast Boy, or Roy and Donna Troy, for example, then this is your book. And also Cory. Cory was pretty nice in it too. Alright you guys, this was my review on This is Lazarus Contract. I hope you like it. Thank you for watching me as always. Stay safe, take care, and see you in my next video. Bye.